goddesses, what's up? You are on with Abiola, and today we have a self-love, self-care, self-confidence treat for you. We are speaking with actress, producer, TV personality, and entrepreneur Torrei Hart, and she's also a mom. Now let me tell you about this natural beauty. My sister is a Philly girl, and as a native New Yorker, I really, I got to rep for my Northeast, up East Coast. She was also the class clown, and she was married for about 8 years to another class clown that you might be vaguely familiar with, this guy, Kevin Hart, kind of, sort of. So, Torrei, welcome to this conversation, sis. How are you?
Hello. I am wonderful, and thanks for having me. I totally appreciate it.
You are welcome, sis. So, tell us about, let's get into your upbringing, your Philly upbringing, your personal life, and your children. Tell us about the woman behind the bio.
Sure. Well, of course, I was born in Philadelphia. I lived in Philly for 9.5 years. And then I moved to Jersey when, of course, I was almost 10. So I kind of was, raised in, I claim both really, Philly and Jersey because that's where my upbringing was. Come from a lovely two-parent household. My mom and dad, they're still married 40-something years now. I lost track, but it's a long time. But so, I love my mom and dad. They brought me up in a good household. I was always in theater arts and at a young age started doing plays and church. I mean, I was raised in the church a lot too. I mean, I had my grandmother started a church. So that is like my definite background with just, dealing with that and always, having God on my side. And so started off my acting career pretty much in the church. And then from church, went to school, did a lot of school plays and a lot of community theater. From there, a lot of people don't know, I also was in the military, so I'm a vet. I was in the Army for 6.5 years. I got out with honorable discharge. I did the reserves for 6 years. And after my boot camp and my AIT, I came back to Philadelphia and I went to community college for a semester. Now, I knew college wasn't going to be the thing for me, but, my parents, they were like, okay, you got to do something. So I actually went to community college in Philadelphia, and I met my ex-husband there in community. We met in a class, and we actually both dropped out together because we both knew it wasn't for us, but dropped out of community college, and years later, I got a good job. I was working for the phone company. He was, out doing what he does. And then years later, moved to L.A. together. A lot of things happened in L.A. I started really getting into, I would say, my career, my training aspect of it because I did a lot of training. I was in and out of classes. I did a lot of photo classes. I did a lot of acting classes. I did a lot of theater arts. I did voiceover, like anything you name it for entertainment, I was doing it. I also took photography classes. Like I wanted to learn every aspect of the business. So I was definitely always training. I got pregnant. I got married. And then I ended up, taking a break from everything because I did get married and kind of started dedicating myself just to my ex-husband. And then I also, after the first year of marriage, I got pregnant with my daughter, Heavenly Hart. And so from that moment, I kind of really just was focused on my daughter. So I was pretty much taking a break for a few years and just, being a mom, enjoying mom life and the Mommy and Me classes, gymnastics, all of the stuff that mommies do. And 2.5 years later, I get pregnant with my son, Hendrik. And so now I have 2 children, and, I'm still actually, trying to navigate, still trying to do different things in the entertainment industry. But it was kind of hard because, I was a full-time mom. Hendrik turned about 1, and after he turned 1, that's when I really started getting back into, training again, and I booked a national commercial. I'm sorry, let me go back. Me and Kevin actually did a national commercial together first. It was an eBay commercial. And after
so
the
cute.
eBay...
Can we find that online, Torrei?
I'm sure you can. I mean, it's out there. I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Somewhere, right? Okay.
It's somewhere out there on the internet somewhere. And so we did a national commercial. We actually shot a TV pilot as well for BET. It didn't, of course, get picked up at the time. It just wasn't supposed to happen. So that unfortunately didn't get picked up. But the good thing about it is, he was doing great. I started booking things. I actually, after that commercial, a casting director saw me in that commercial, and so I got booked for a national commercial with AT&T. And then after getting booked for a national commercial with AT&T, I was able to secure myself an agent and started just booking commercials. I started getting little spots here and there commercials. After the commercials, I started getting more looks, and I landed a TV gig on Nickelodeon called Parental Discretion. It was very short-lived, unfortunately. It was only on air for a year. But the good thing is, I got that TV credit with Nickelodeon, and I was able to show that, my mom's side. And, it was a job I got on my own. So I was very, very proud of that. It was, no connects, no nothing. I went in there, booked it, and got the job. So that was awesome.
Yes.
Because in Hollywood, it's, it's not easy. So, when you get things like that, it keeps you motivated and keeps you going. So then I began to do a lot of sketch. I did a lot of sketch. I still do a lot of sketch, a lot of characters because, basically to me, sketch is, you're acting, but, you have to come up with these characters.
It's one of the hardest things you can do. It's one of the hardest things. If a person can do sketch comedy, they can do anything.
Well, I would say definitely sketch and stand-up because I would say stand-up is the hardest because I've done stand-up as well. But, I would say hands down it's the hardest job in show business. It definitely is. So if you could do those two, you could pretty much do anything. So I began to do that. Yes.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to just jump in and highlight something that I think will be very inspiring for a lot of people. You said that you started out with a quote unquote good job, and a lot of people, have a good job, quote unquote, good job with benefits, and then when they want to leave that job to pursue their passions or pursue their dreams, people in their lives are very discouraging. How did you have the confidence to make that leap and be able to jump in and pursue your dreams and start booking your gigs, etc.?
You know what? I will tell you, I was in Australia, and Kevin was there filming a movie called Fool's Gold, and I went with him. This was before I had my son. I had Heaven, so, I went with him to Australia, and Kate Hudson was one of his co-stars of the movie. And, I admired her, and so I had a talk with her, and, I just sat and talked to her, and I told her what my dreams and my goals were. And, I was like, I've done this a long time. I've been training since I was a kid. I've always had the heart for this. I said, but, now I have my daughter. I'm here supporting my husband. I say it's kind of hard because, I had some obstacles against me. So Kate said, well, you know what? The only way you'll ever be able to do something is if you just do it. She said, there's going to be obstacles. There's obstacles and everything, and she was just like, you just have to do it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just get out there and do it, because I was also very fearful. I mean, I won't say I was always like, oh, let me just go out there and I can conquer anything. No, I was nervous. I had took I'm drawing a blank here, Bill Duke. I took one of Bill Duke's acting class. I don't know if you're familiar with Bill Duke.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I started out in theater, so yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So I took one of Bill Duke's classes, and I mean, you talk about in Hollywood, like And it was big names in this class, you know, so I was nervous. You know, I had to get up there, do a monologue, and, you know, that first, I didn't last in that class. I actually did not last, and so that was when I was like, okay, maybe I should start smaller. I don't know, but, I mean, it was very nerve-wracking for me. So then I ended up in Howard Fine, who is another big-time Hollywood acting. Okay, so you know about Howard Fine. Okay, so I took his class, and there is where I started building a lot of confidence. And even in his class, you know, Tisha Campbell was one of the people. And he put me in the master class because he thought I should be in the master class. So he put me in the master class, and Tisha Campbell was one of the actresses in that class. So, you know, that gave me a confidence boost. And he worked with me very hard and pressed me and got me on a new level. And, you know, that's where I started building my confidence because I was acting alongside the likes of, you know, the Tisha Campbells and people of that status. So it helped me build confidence to know I could do it. And then what I started to do was just keep going. I started producing my own projects. That's when I started doing the sketches. I did a short film called Victim of Circumstance where I co-wrote that with the director, and I produced it, and I also acted in that as well. And I just figured, you know, if I'm auditioning and, you know, I'm not booking the jobs, then I'll just start creating the jobs for myself. And that's what I continue to do. And I was also at the time, you know, I did stand up, you know, to also help with my confidence, you know, and that was very hard and very scary, you know, because for one, you know, at the time, my husband was a stand-up comedian, so I didn't want people, oh, she's just doing it because he's doing it. But, you know, I used to sit and write jokes with him. So I knew the formula. I knew how to write jokes. I was around comedy since I was 20 years old. So that was pretty much my life. That's all I knew. And so it was, you know, I won't say it was easy for me to do because it's very nerve-wracking when you get on there. But once you're on stage, you know, you calm down. But I figured, you know, let me do this to also build my confidence. And it surely did help me with a lot because I started booking other things through being seen out on the comedy circuit. You know, fast forward, of course, started having marital problems, and that kind of took me out of it for a little while. I went through, you know, a very public divorce. And so I kind of just, when I went through my divorce, I was very withdrawn. I didn't want to have anything to do with the arts at all. I kind of, you know, was just like, I don't want to be around these people. I don't want to be around this because I started seeing people who, you know, said they were my friend, but when it came down to it, you know, the alliances and the sides that were taken, I was like, no, that wasn't a true friendship. I can see that now. You know, you go with the bigger star, the person with more money. Like, I just started seeing things that really made me disgusted with the industry. So I kind of moved away. I was still in California, but I kind of moved away far further out from the city and, you know, just took solitude, did a lot of fasting, did a lot of praying, and, you know, just getting my mind back right and especially stay in a good place so I could be present for my children. So that was my goal at that time, just to, you know, find my happy again and be a present mom, you know, for my kids.
Yeah, I think that is, you know, really important, like you said, you know, that you kind of went back underground to take care of yourself, did your fasting, did your praying to kind of, you know, build yourself up because, yeah, girl, yeah. I've been through divorce and it is one of the most horrible things, you know, that anybody could deal with. How did you, you know, because I didn't have to be a mom at the same time, and so that sounds incredibly difficult. How did you, at the time, be present for your kids while you were just feeling despondent?
Well, it was very hard, and I mean, and sometimes I wasn't. You know, I'll be honest. Some days I was just, you know, my mom flew out to be here with me. I also had, you know, my cousin was living with me at the time, so she was there to help me. And then I had a few core group of girlfriends who were there for me to help. So, you know, days where there were days I didn't even want to get out of bed. There was days where I contemplated suicide. There were days where I just felt like my life is over. And, you know, those were the days where I just called on help. because if I couldn't do it, I knew, let me get some help and just be vulnerable enough so that I can seek the help that I need.
Yes.
And so I will say that, I did have, people there who did help. And there was days where I didn't have the help, so I just pushed myself. I just said, okay, I got to do this for the children. That's it. I got to be strong for them. And there were times where, they still would, they would be like, Mommy, are you okay? They could sense it. I mean, I never would cry or anything like that in front of them. But, children, they're very in tune. And
yes,
so they could
are.
tell that, they knew when Mommy was having a great day and when Mommy wasn't having a great day. So I would say that between them, that, and my upbringing of being raised in a very spiritual background and having that to stand on really helped me get through a lot of things that I got through.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. And I'll say, as a kid, boy, I used to hate being in church all the time, but as an adult, I'm like, thank you, God, that I had that foundation, because I don't think I probably could have pulled through if I didn't have that foundation.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm very grateful for that.
And as you said, Torrei, being vulnerable enough to ask for help, because I think that, a lot of women, particularly Black women, feel that they have to put up the front of being strong all the time. So I think that you're going to definitely help somebody today by sharing that. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And the beautiful
definitely.
the beautiful thing is that now you have created the Heavenly Heart beauty line. Tell us, because we know your daughter's name is Heaven, what inspired this beauty line? Where did it come from? Tell us about it.
Okay, so I would definitely, of course, it was, inspired by her name, of course. Heaven is her first name. Her middle name is Lee, and, of course, Hart. So it actually came from her. I was approached by Nzuri, which I have a new relationship with Nzuri, and they wanted me to do something with their line. And I said, well, I've been thinking of creating a line, since I had my locks. I've always wanted to get into natural hair care. I think it's very good that Black women see you can still be beautiful, you can still be sexy, even with natural hair. Because sometimes I feel like, people get it twisted. Oh, she's going natural, so you can't still be sexy. So I was like, I want to show a different, and that's not true. Like, I have locks, and I feel more sexy with locks because I feel like, hey, I'm at a pool party now. I can get in the water and not feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? I can prance around. I can dip my hair in and, not feel like, oh, gosh, okay, how I'm going to look after I get out of the water. So that in itself gives me confidence. That makes me feel sexy, and let me put it out there a little bit more. I can take a shower with my guy and not be like, oh, let me put a shower cap on,
Yes,
so
girl, you can wake up the next morning sweaty and your hair still looks good.
It still looks good, and, you feel exotic. I feel exotic. I feel empowered. I feel like, this is my texture. It's what God gave me. I'm not trying to sport somebody else's and be something I'm not. So it has been an empowering journey for me. I feel so much more. I feel the most confident I ever have out of any hairstyles I've ever had. And so with me being, a mom and having a daughter who's not only a Black daughter, but, she's a chocolate girl too. So, I want her to feel empowered and have that sense of, this is who God made me. I am beautiful no matter what. And she loves her twist. She's very confident, and I instilled that in her in a young age, and it's still with her to this age at 12 years old. So that was really my main mission, my main goal was to inspire women and let them know it's okay to be you. It's all how you rock being you.
Yes, you have inspired me as well. I'm a chocolate natural sister. And so absolutely, it's beautiful for you to be giving this gift to your daughter, because I say all the time, I say that, our mothers couldn't necessarily teach us that kind of self-love because a lot of times they didn't know. So, so that was just so beautiful that you created this line for Heaven. And so what's her reaction to seeing Mommy do this?
You know what? I think she gets it.
Yeah.
I know she gets it, but I think she's still kind of like, okay, until she sees me like out at, there's a big hair expo coming up, and it's going to be about 20,000 black women, hair care, everything, and she's going with me. So I think, once she sees the magnitude of it, it's going to hit her. I don't think it's hit her yet, because I told her this is a legacy for you. I'm creating this for you. This is inspired by you, honey. Like, this is, God gave this to me. When I named her, I knew she was going to be something special just because he put it on my heart to name her Heaven, and our last name was Hart, so it's like Heavenly Heart. It's just like this has all just been in the making now since she was born. So, I hope she'll get it. I mean, my son, he already is like, well, Mom, what about me? What's going to be my product? So, he's 9. He's a little businessman, so he's just like, what about me, Mom? I can create something. And he's sitting around trying to come up with ideas, and I'm like, okay, honey, let's think about that one. I like that you're thinking, but wait a second, we're going to get to you too. So, it's fun. It's funny seeing him though, and and her, I know eventually she's really going to understand the magnitude of it. But she definitely knows all about it. She's excited about it. I'm showing her the labels, the packaging, everything. And I think once she really sees how big it is, she's really going to it's going to hit her. It'll just hit her.
She'll get it. That is beautiful. And I love that your son is being the entrepreneur, and he's like, well, where's my line? What's up with that, Mommy? What are you doing? Where's it? Well, one of the beautiful things I think that, about your story, Torrei, is how you are doing conscious co-parenting now. So I got to share with you, sis, when I was doing my research for this interview, one of the big stories that came up, when I searched your name it said, Torrei Hart says that she's down to babysit her ex's new child. Torrei Hart positive about her ex's new baby. So we know that, you just shared with us how you went through the fire, with the breakup. How do you get here? Share with us, please, because this is so beautiful.
Well, it hasn't been easy. Let's just say that. I mean, and I don't know if you saw the reality show Atlanta Extras that I was on.
I haven't. So give us a little background because I haven't.
Okay, so in that, show, that was a few years ago, and I was not in, the best place when I filmed that show. I was still hurting. I was still going through a lot of healing. So, a lot of things would come up, how I felt betrayed, how I felt like, wow, I've been with this man since, gave him pretty much all of my 20s. Not pretty much, I did. I gave him, my all in my 20s, supported, came up with companies, aligned with certain people and different things like that. So, during that time, I just felt like I was betrayed. And so I was going through a period of healing. So, at that time, I didn't want to, co-parent. I didn't want to deal with him. I didn't want to deal with his new relationship. I didn't want to deal with any of that. So it took me really sitting down and really making a conscious decision that I want to get my happy back. And in the process of getting my happy back, because I had always been a happy-go-lucky person, just spontaneous, whatever, didn't care, I knew I had to do some self-work to get there. It wasn't going to be easy. So I did a 30-day, actually, I'm sorry, it was a 40-day. I had a friend who was Muslim. And, he was like, well, I'm going to, fast for Ramadan. Why don't you just fast with me? You'll have breakthroughs. You'll come out of this a better person. Now, you're speaking to a person who was raised in a Christian household, and, they feel like, Christianity is the only way. So I was very reluctant to do it. He did encourage me. He said, just try it. And I was so thankful that he did, because I did the 40-day fast, and it was the best thing I ever could have did for myself, because I came out of that fast a better person, a different person, I will say. It took me on a completely different journey. Coming out of the fast, I continued to fast. I continued to pray every day. I dedicated an hour of my time every day to praising and worshiping God. I also did a cleanse where I forgave everybody who I felt like hurt me, and I wrote a list put it on a piece of paper, went outside to my backyard, prayed over it, burnt it, and gave it to God. And I said, from this day forward, God, this is, I'm giving it to you. You know, you say lay all your burdens on me and you will take care of it. So that's what I did. I said, I'm not going to keep rehashing the past. And that's what I did. And I made an effort to do it, to get happy and, you know, build my future for a better future for myself and for my children. And so that was one of the main things that I had to do. And, you know, if you come to my house, honey, you'll see in my library there is nothing but self-help books. It's like any self-help book that you need to read or anything you need, you're going to find it in my library because that's what I did. You know, I would read a different book every day. I would get, you know, into the Bible. I was watching, I kept TBN on my TV. That is all that stayed on my TV. On my Pandora station, it was nothing but positive, uplifting music, gospel. I went through a period where I didn't listen to anything except inspirational music because I was just feeding my soul. And that's what I felt I had to do to get to the place that I'm at today. And you know, don't get me wrong, it's still a struggle. You know, it's still, you know, you have those hiccups. You have those moments where, you know, the two may not agree on something and we have a hiccup. But, you know, now it's just I know how to better handle it versus how I handled it in the past.
Oh, that is absolutely beautiful, sis. You got tears in my eyes because that is so beautiful. So beautiful. And that's exactly, you know, for everyone who's listening knows that that's exactly what I teach. I just got back from taking a retreat group of powerful women to Bali and had us, you know, had everybody burn and put into the flame everything we wanted to leave there. Don't worry, girl. I'm going to send you a whole package with my book, affirmation cards, everything after. Yes.
Listen, I have to go to, can I just tell you, I was just looking at retreats in Bali. Like, this is crazy. I got chills right now because I was just looking at retreats because I wanted to go on one.
Oh, my gosh.
I talked to you months ago because I surely would have went. Like, God has put Bali on my heart for a long time. Like, I'm going to get over there very soon. I already know it. Yeah.
Definitely go. I have chills now, too. My next retreat is going to be to Marrakesh, so I'm going to send you the info on that, and you'll be there for that one. Yes.
Okay.
And so what I want to highlight, what you just said, just so that the audience gets it, is that her self-love and self-care was an active process. She didn't stay and just wallow in the sorrow and the pain. She was an active participant in her own empowerment and healing. Beautiful, sis. Beautiful. Okay, so now let's get into the ingredients of this hair care line. Because I know that, you know, there's a shampoo, you know, give us the breakdown of this hair care line. There are other, you know, natural beauties like you and me and Heaven who are listening. What are the different parts of the hair care line and some of the things that are special about it?
Okay, well, first let me tell you why it's, you know, it's so special. First of all, we are a product and we're formulated. We don't have any parabens. We don't have any mineral oil. We don't have any sodium, the sulfate, and you know that's a big deal right there.
Yes.
90% we're gluten free and we're also cruelty free. So you know no animals were hurt, no testing, none of that, and pretty much, and we're also vegan. So that's a big deal right there. There's no petroleum. There's, you know, it's very huge, you know. And, I mean, it makes it a little bit more expensive, but, you know, you're not going to get any alcohol. You're not going to get wax. You're not going to get acrylics and plastics and paraben and silicone and, you know, stuff like that. So that was a big thing that, you know, we prided ourselves on and making sure that, you know, that's some of the things that we started with. So we also have, there is, let's say there's 7 items. Okay, there's the Heavenly Hydrating Vitamin Shampoo. There's the conditioner. There's the leave-in detangler, conditioning detangler. There's also the hydration cream. There's the Coconutty Curl Explosion Souffle. And there's also a growth fertilizer and, I don't know with that number. Trying to think. There's also the... Oh,
I see it. There's a crazy hair.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a crazy hair growth serum. Yes. With horsetail extract, yucca extract, nettles, chamomile, lavender, aloe vera, and silk amino acids. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
This sounds awesome.
Very much so. And you know, and I wanted the packaging to also, you know, most natural, you know, packages are of earth tone colors, which I've noticed, you know, doing my research. I see a lot of natural hair care packaging is earth tone colors. So I just wanted to do something different, you know, and make it so the bottling looks fun and appealing, and it looks, you know, a little sexier than just the normal, you know, earth tone color.
Yes.
Even though it's still natural, but I just wanted something that'll pop.
Yes, it does.
So
and
that's also
it also looks higher end and fun and, you know, really elegant. Really, really elegant.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I'm looking through the ingredients, you know, and the things that it addresses. It says that it addresses loss and hair growth concerns, and it'll fortify your hair against external issues, and you have something here for, you know, for everything. So if their hair is braided or locked or, you know, just a natural fro like mine, or if they wear, you know, weaves or wigs or, you know, whatever, I think you have products here that work for the all of those, any kind of hair care, natural hair care.
Yes, definitely.
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, and then there's also, we said the 12-in-1 leave-in conditioner and detangler. Well, this has been such a beautiful conversation, and so I know that the line is new. Is it something that people can get yet? How can people get Heavenly Heart, Torrei?
Yes, actually, it is out right now. We just launched it last week, so it is out. And they can go to the website, and they can get it off of the website. And let me give you the exact site.
Yes, give us the site, because we got to. It's summertime. We got to get our hair together. Go ahead.
Yes. And I am, you know, I am partnered with Nzuri, so, you know, their products are tested, you know, period of time. And so if you've ever used an Nzuri product, you definitely will know that, you know, this is not a joke. These are very, very, very good products because, you know, hand down tested, her products are the best, one of the best out there in the natural hair care world.
And so, I love that it's vegan. I love that it's vegan and not tested on animals, too. I think that that's really, really important.
Yeah. And a lot of people, you know, they don't want to use products that have been tested on animals. So, you know, we decided let's go a different route with that, too. And like I said, you know, it's the prices there, and they're not even competitively with the other natural hair care products. They're maybe $2 more than, you know, some of the other big-name natural hair care products out there.
Oh, perfect. So people can go to NzuriHairCare.com. That is the site.
.com, yes. Yep.
Nzuri.
And then if you click...
Go ahead.
And then if you oh, okay. And then if you click on NzuriHairCare.com, you'll see a tab where it has all of the heavenly hair products.
Okay.
I don't know. Are you able to pull it up?
Okay, perfect. So you got that. If you're listening, you're going to go to NzuriHairCare.com. You're going to look for the tab that has all of the Heavenly Heart hair care products, and you're going to get your shampoo, you're going to get your serum, you're going to get your conditioner, you're going to get your whole, like, curl explosion cream, and then you're going to let Torrei know that you are looking gorgeous thanks to her and what she has created for her little girl. So thank you, Torrei.
Yes,
thank you so much for this beautiful conversation.
Oh, definitely. And that's it. You know, they can also go to my Instagram page. The link is also in my bio for Torrei Hart. And, you know, as we continue to keep building it, there's going to be other websites and different things, and we're getting it out there everywhere. So, and like I said, the hair expos, we're going to all of those, and we're just, you know, getting the word out about this natural hair care product. And also what we're doing, which is empowering women, and, you know, it's okay to be natural. It's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, it's not only okay, but it is fabulous. Thank you, Torrei. So any last words of wisdom before we go? Anything you want to share?
Wow. I would just say, life is a journey, and just enjoy every moment of it as much as you can. Of course, you're going to hit hard times. That's growth. That's where you grow the most. But hang in there and just stay motivated, keep going, and, follow all your dreams, no matter what it is, your age, just keep doing it, because you never know what age you're going to, come into who you're supposed to be, but you can't quit, because if you quit, you'll never know. So just keep going no matter what you go through.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Torrei Hart, for this conversation. We have been uplifted, we have been inspired, we have been transformed, and we even got our hair looking cute. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And to my goddesses who are listening, be seen, be heard, be a movement, and I will see you in the next conversation. Namaste.
Yeah.